For you all, those who would like to, to be a leader in your startup, whichever stream that you would like to, whether it's a business, or whether it's a academy, or whether it's any venture, whether you are into drawing, painting, dance, whatever it may be. Of course, your leadership skills matters over there. So here we have got an eminent personality today who have been in the military for more than 20 years, veteran with a lot of dignitaries on his chest, a lot of medals that he has acquired in his more than 20 years of his life in the Navy as an electrical engineer. By 2018, when he was retiring, when there was a decision which he had to make whether to join corporate world as an employee, or what else that he can do something of his own, a journey which is, like, you can say, a 180-degree totally different from what he was doing in the Navy for last 20 years as an engineer, handling a different world altogether. Now he's a successful businessman, chairman and managing director of Unique Solution. Let's see the journey from a military veteran to a successful businessman, journey of a simple man who had a vision even when he was in Navy, today even when he as being a CMD of a company. You should know that the last year best businessman of the award was backed by this gentleman. We all are proud to have our guest, Mr. Sayuj Damodharan. I'm welcoming sir to our show. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for being in our show as our chief guest for the day, to give light to those who would like to start a new venture in the entrepreneurial area. So, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Ashwin sir. Thank you so much.
So, without wasting our time, briefly, would you explain your 20 years of your military time that you had been in the Navy as an electrical engineer before we start into your area of business?
Uh, Good afternoon, Ashwin sir. It has really been a privilege to join you on a podcast to show some of my journey. I would like to put up my journey in a layman language so that every individual out there who wants to listen can understand how it has been. My journey in defense forces was never an accident. It was already determined because my father was in Air Force. He was an ex-surgeon. So I was well aware of the service background. So when I was thinking about a career, the easiest way to get a central government service with a ready-made salary package and a stable life was defense forces way back in 1997. So when I passed out from the secondary school, higher secondary school, 10th, we had that liberty to opt for defense examinations during that period. Now they have enhanced the eligibility to 10+2, but that time it was matriculation that they wanted. So soon after the 10th, we started applying. I attended Air Force examination. I attended Army rallies, and I even attended Navy examinations in naval base before. Fortunate enough, I made it through in 1997 November. I joined Indian Navy in 1998, first batch. Went through my, basic training, which I think was the most critical phase of my life, which has turned me upside down from a civilian boy. I should say boy because I was just 16 and a half. For a civilian boy to a civilized gentleman, that journey I could see when I was going through the 6 months. Many of the factors changed. The way I looked at a career, the way I looked at people who were around me, the way I looked and serving the nation changed. Because when we, even if you see this podcast, it will be just like a 25 minutes or 30 minutes thing. But you should understand, we live that way. It has been a way of life. So 6 months down the line, we understood that this could be a serious career if we want to focus on. Fortunate enough, I got electrical trade, because that is the time then we get selected to the trade group. So I was into electrical trade. We went on to electrical training. In between, we had a ship training to make sure that we had that taste of ship also in between. So we went for the ship training, then for the electrical course. And after 8 months of electrical basic training, we were put across the first ship, and it was INS Delhi, which was just commissioned and was almost 1.5 years old at that time. INS Delhi was commissioned in 1997, and I joined the fleet in 1999. So it was almost 1.5 years down the line. And that was the first destroyer to be made indigenously by India. So you could understand, most of the senior officials would love to sail on board an indigenous boat on a ship. So whenever we sailed, we had a huge crew of senior officials sailing with us every time. And believe me, sir, those basics that I learned in that ship till today, I have never forgotten the length of the ship, the width of the ship, the number of compartments of the ship. Today, after 28 years, when you put me on board INS Delhi, I will be able to identify each and every compartment. That's for sure. I have never forgotten it, because that was the type of training that our seniors used to give it to us. I, being an electrical person, have got into every compartment, because seldom you have a compartment without a light. Seldom you get a compartment without a switch. So everywhere our hands has to go. So we have worked on board the ship, have learned tremendous things under the leadership of my seniors. I have been very fortunate to have great electrical officers, great deputy electrical officers, commanding officers who led us through, even though I was very junior most. Think about 300 plus crew on board a ship, and I was junior most. That is how it comes about. It's all about how you look at life. When you have a tough situation, how you look at life is how you change your perspective. There can be two ways, which my father always says. You can always love what you do, or you can step back and always cry. Both are easy. Once you love your job, you will love, enjoy it, and do it. Once you cry, step back, somebody else will do it, you will sit idle. Both ways, you will be okay, because in Navy, Army, and Air Force, once you are into this force, you should understand that it's all about companionship. If you don't do a job, somebody else will do it. They will not ask you why you don't do it, because it's all about camaraderie. Here, when you do it, you love it, you get professional. When you step back and put up your problems across, now you don't learn it. I've gone through both these phases. Initially, it was tough, but then I picked up things, because I was from a commerce background. Learning things was a bit difficult for me, but my seniors were there to guide me through, learn things. Fortunately enough, I got into the stream. I started working. I got good numbers in my senior courses. I was selected for the mechanician course. I was again pulled back for the mechanician course in 2003. We went through a diploma course from 2003 to 2005, passed out from my course, and I was posted on as Virat, the biggest ship of Indian Navy. Now, when I came into Indian Naval ship Virat, I was again transformed from an electrician to a mechanician basically a weapon system. Now, in onboard INS Virat, there were no much weapon systems to be posted, and the n number of people were seen. Now there was a requirement onboard INS Suvarna for a weapon EAP to be posted. And because I was the junior most who was posted in INS Virat, my team recommended me to be transferred to INS Suvarna. Therefore, I went on to INS Suvarna as a weapon EAP. Ashwin sir, I never complained. Whenever I was transferred, I would also say, I just came in, why are you putting me? But I went through that. Should believe me, sir, life changed. Today, whatever I am sitting before you is because of INS Suvarna. I had the opportunity to step into a ship where there was only one weapon EAP, and that too, he was supposed to get retired. I took over from him. I started learning, and that was the ship where we had a strategic missile. It's called Dhanush, and this ship gets converted, role converted to hello mode and combat mode now and then. So I was a lone EAP, weapon EAP out there. I learned so many things which when I look back, if I was in Virat, I wouldn't have learned it. So life took a change. I came into Suvarna. I learned so many things. I sat along with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was my mission director for one of the missions. It was, you could, whenever I'm talking about him, I have goosebumps. So I sat along with that eminent personality. I had my LCC control room in me. I was firing a missile along with mission director, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The way he interacted, the way he put forth that mission was very simple. That day, I realized one thing: to do anything in life, it doesn't require to make chaos. It can be done very simply. Even if it is a rocket to be launched, it can be done with a cool. So many things I learned across. Then I was again posted to Weapon Equipment Depot, Karwar. Ship went to Karwar and then posted to Karwar. Then from there, I went to WED Kochi. And after that, I went to Shipbuilding Center, Visakhapatnam. There came the drastic change. I was posted as an admin chief out there. I learned many things about administration. A total again 180-degree shift from a technical chap into an admin chap. It took me around 1.5 years to learn all the things which is related to Navy, but I thought I should learn it. I started learning it when, unfortunately, my father had a massive brain stroke. He was paralyzed. So I requested for a transfer in my hometown, but it's always service, which is always in the forefront. It is always service before self. So there were many conditions which Navy tried to fulfill, but I could not take it across. Then I thought it's not very justful if I again pull myself out of it. So I thought I will retire after 20 years. It was almost 17. So I took the decision to retire. As many of my course mates are saying, chalo retire, we will retire, and then what we will do, we will join some bank. We will join as an electrical officer in Merchant Navy. We will go write some SSC examinations, income tax department, revenue department. Some departments we will take in hometown and go. Merchant Navy electrical officer was my dream, but then my father was not in a state where I could leave him. So that was always done for me. Then I thought of writing a bank exam and becoming a clerk. But then somehow I could not align with that job because I was a commerce student. I had gone through so many hardships to get converted to electrical jam. Now again, I am going back to commerce. I thought, yeah, this is not going to work for me. So let me do what I can do best. So the decision of retirement was very tough for me because the transition as of such is, what do you say, is so cruel. I should use that word, because once you step out of Navy, you jump into a different world where your alignment never matches for at least 6-7 months. You will find like you're a frog who can be anytime bursted under any tire. It's just like that. Anybody can walk over you, because we in armed forces, we have a different set of discipline. We have a different set of working culture. We have a different set of companionship. We have a different set of commitments. But in civilian world, it never matches. At least 30 to 40% never matches. So when I just came out of armed forces, I was thinking about this. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I cannot be a clerk. What happened is, during my last 1.5 years of service, I interacted with so many veterans. So many veterans, I started talking to them. Sir, how is life outside? What is going to be? Everyone had different versions. I understood one thing. Everybody had different versions because they had another perspectives in their life. They have got different priorities. So everybody's version will be different. So what is my version? What is my requirement? Was the question that came into my mind. My requirement was simple, sir. I wanted to do the job that I know the best. I wanted to stay with what I've learned. I wanted to stay with my family. And I didn't want to bring down my lifestyle. These are the three simple things I want. I could not change my profession that I've learned. I could not leave my house for any reason, because I wanted to take care of my father and my parents. And I wanted a decent, good salary, which I was gaining as of now, so that my lifestyle remains consistent. So looking at these three things, I tried to get some job, but unfortunately, everybody posted me in Bombay. Somebody posted me in Pune. Somebody posted me in Chennai, Coimbatore. So finally, I met one of my seniors who told me, with all these bottlenecks, you can do only one thing. Start up your own business and sit at your home so that you can do something of your own. But that was one word that changed my entire life. And what you see today, Sayuj Damodharan as a chairman and managing director, is the product of that single liner, which says, go find out your own business, you can be successful. So transition from a naval veteran to an entrepreneur was quite tiring, because I should say entrepreneurship was never my cup of tea. It was never. But there are some times that you will have to go through this. Even if you don't like it, you have to go through this, and environment makes you fit for it. So I had my bottlenecks in front of you. I had to be at my hometown, Kollam. I cannot go around anywhere else other than Kochi, Trivandrum, Kollam. My circle was already there. So I wanted to stay within that circle so that I can come back home every single day. And so then I thought, what could I do? What could I do? I sat with my wife for quite a long period. We were married for almost 12 years. By that time, we were couples for 12 years. So I started sharing my worries and things with my wife. She told that, yeah, see, whatever you do what you know the best. So that the best thing is, nobody can cheat you. In the civilian world, when you come down to anything, make sure that you are aligning to their requirements. So if you know your job well, you can be rest assured nobody will take you for granted. So that was the thing that was going in my head. So then I thought, what should I do? I went back to my senior who advised me to start a business. So I saw him again. I asked him, sir, if I start a business, is that okay? So, yeah, you can be made a vendor. So that was one thought that came into my. I started my business way before I resigned. 6 months before I started my business in my wife's name. I put up all the papers together. I went to him. I got registered with one of the MNCs where he was working. And then we have seen in many of the movies, when your thirst or hunger for something is huge, environment also creates many paths and ways to make sure that your alignment and manifestation comes in line with your requirement. So that way I got registered. I got a small contract with that MNC to do a job. And it all started from there. The transition was just, I could say this, was uh, very tough. Because when I say this word tough or was cruelsome, was very hard, it will be a small gesture for you or will be a small verb for you. But so really it was tough. It was really tough because I had no business background in my head, had no ancestors doing any business. My father was an ex-worksman. My grandfather was a farmer. So I had no backups of business. I didn't have anything in my blood. I didn't know how to run a business. So many issues were there. And I know that similar things will be there with many of the guys out there who was watching this, ladies or gentlemen, whoever it is, starting a business, whenever they stay, whenever I started asking my seniors, so business करने के लिए कैसे होगा? So you need capital, you need manpower, you need this, that, all those things. And everybody started scaring me. But once I took that decision and when I started the business, and believe me, sir, it is not the 8 years of business that I'm doing. It's like this. Everybody see me as an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur with my 8 years of background. It will be very unfair if I say that. It is not 8 years. It is 20 years of training in Indian Navy. That knowledge that I've acquired, that experience that I've gone through, which make me capable, which made me capable to run this 8 years. Without that 20 years of experience, I would have been utter failure. So it is not 8 years of entrepreneurship, it's 28 years of life that has converted me to a CMD of a company. And now we have a private limited company also. So we are running that company also successfully. So all these success has cascaded in 28 years. It's all about the way that you lead your life. What is your intentions like? How you want to run your business? And as you asked me the question, how was your journey in the Navy? It was the most fruitful and the most, what do you say? What you can say it like this: without that 20 years of career, I would have been nothing. So Navy, because of Navy, I am here what I am today. So my life in Indian Navy I am always indebted to that great organization. And Indian Navy has given me so much so that I am able to live my life in dignity and pride.
Wow, what an inspiring story. Really goosebumps for those who were listening about the naval life as an electrical engineer, and sitting with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and doing that missile firing of Dhanush and all. Truly inspiring. Great. So that 20 years, as you said, you were actually making the roots so strong for that tree to grow, the tree of unique solution, which is having such a big roots underneath. So, gratitude to the Navy and all the seniors that who have guided you to make your roots so strong. Wonderful, inspiring. So now, that transition moment wherein which you were stepping out and you had to start, you were guided, let's go ahead with the business, and the name, unique solution, the unique, and you were clueless what to do. You said you were tied up with MNC and were helping out. That initial stage wherein which that struggle, that stage of starting, registering, how did you feel that? Did you feel that unique solution will go up or not? Because we see today 1 year maximum a company goes, and after a year you will see some other company but the same shop will be there with some other board, but 8 years successfully going. But that transition stage wherein which you had named Unique Solution with your wife as your partner and started that struggle. What were that struggles that you faced during that transition time? Only that struggles. What were the struggles initial time that you faced when you started the company?
So either for a business or a job, let me take both the ways. If it is a job or a business, whatever. First thing, what we will all look at will be one thing is if I have a job and if I start switching on my job every 6 months, 8 months, after 7 years, 8 years, I will be surviving, but I will not have a designation as of such. Because every 6 months I am changing my job, right? Similarly, in business also, if you switch on and then you step out after 8 months, then start a new business, then start job, then start a new business, you will survive somehow. But now you will not be able to run a successful business. So my first key to any person out there is consistency. You have to be consistent, you will have to be persistent, and you will have to have the perseverance to do it. The most challenging thing that I faced during my transition was the risk that I'm going to take. 20 years into Indian Armed Forces, everybody knows that when you retire, you get a handful of amount. But nobody knows that whatever amount you get, it takes 1/10 of the time to flush it out. Whatever amount you have, it doesn't take much time to finish it. So my wife, Arati, when I was sitting with her, I told her, I will get a handful of money when I retire. We will start the business. She don't know. She don't know. That money is your strength. And that is where you'll have to sit. You will not spend that money. Your confidence, your body language, everything will depend on the money that you have in your bank account. So you will not touch that at any point. And I told her, then I will start a business. Work on your skills. Work on your skills. That is what she told. So I just sat with her and said, what is my skill like? You know something, right? You know how to do this. Why don't you start a business the same thing and you extend your services wherein you can work? You can start working and later on you develop. Yeah. So what is the capital for required for that? I don't, that won't be much. I just need the tools. I can start working with. So believe me, sir, I invested just 15,000 rupees to start my business. I have never spent or reinvested more than 15,000 rupees in Unique Solution till date. And whatever I am doing today, I don't know how many zeros I have added on to it, but whatever I am doing today, the capital amount which I have invested in my partnership deed is also 15,000. So that was one big challenge, capital investment. Second was, what are you going to do? So again, I had that inner intuition that you need to do what you know the best. You cannot experiment, especially when you are a veteran. You have already exhausted 37 years of your life. Now you cannot take an experiment and do whatever it takes and then you redo it. It is not possible. So I wanted to do something which I wanted to continue for my lifetime. And if I am successful, I wanted to take it to my next generation also. So that was the second thought that came into mind. Which business will last for generations to come? So that was my biggest challenge. Third challenge was how can I trust civilians? Because all the years I was in a pond of service people, wherein service well. We do what we say, and we are obliged to do it. And a commitment and a competency all matches with the words, right? But here, when we step out of the civilian world, if I say we will come at 9 o'clock, people don't come at 9 o'clock. Don't think that they will come at 9 o'clock. You will go and be there by 8:45, but people will come in their own sweet time. So that trust factor was a very big thing for me. Will I be able to survive with the civilian route out there? How will this transition happen? So these are the three main challenges. Fourth is a small challenge, but there was a challenge was convincing people around you. Everybody and everyone comes in. Oh, you left service. So what are you doing right now? I started a business. Do you know how to do a business? Have you ever done a business? Why do you want to do a business? Why don't you write government examinations? People start questioning, and every time when you're not successful, it's very difficult to make people understand. Once you're successful, this factor doesn't exist. So everybody turns up late and say, "Yeah, I knew always you would be a good businessman." That would be the next answer that comes in when you're successful. But till the time you are not successful, people will you be able to make it? So that was a fourth small challenge that I had. But with all these challenges in place, what I thought was, I can believe in myself. I know what I can do best. I knew if I did a thing in the right manner, I can be successful. I can turn the table across. So that inner strength of inner belief played that way. So when I stepped out of service and when I got my first contract, just one day, not even a day, on my last day of retirement was the day when I got a PO. So after one day of retirement, I just was a retired person enjoying my retirement life in flight from Bombay to Trivandrum. That was the only day I was retired because there was no other job. Just was flying from Bombay to Trivandrum and then traveling from Trivandrum to Kollam. I just shuffled the suitcase and I went to Kochi the same day evening 5:30. The next day morning 9 o'clock, I was there in front of Kochi shipyard taking over the contract. I was the CMD, I was the worker, I was the helper, I was the peon, I was the writer. You say whatever, I just had a laptop, 2, 3 spanners, and one PP kit that I all had. I started my job. I went on board a ship, saw what I have to do. I understood what is my scope of work after literally seeing it, even though I had an idea of what it is, but I really wanted to see how bad it is. Then I saw the entire job. I came out of CSL by afternoon. I went in search of labor. I picked up a single person through one of my vendors because I was in weapon equipment depot Kochi and I was knowing a person who was supplying something to WD Kochi and he was from Kochi. So I gave a call to him and asked him, can I get a manpower? I had some small jobs. He was till today we work together. To be very frank, he was Mr. Joseph. He gave me a helper, fitter type person who he told he can trust him, take him across. And that person is there with my company as my strategic head till date. The person, my first employee, Mr. Mumtiaz Ali, he is my strategic head, planning manpower in different locations as on date in my company. We both started together. I used to fit an equipment. He used to lift it and give it to me. We worked for around 6-7 days like that. But then we understood that it is not going to take further with 2 persons. We added on manpower on a contract basis, 2, 3. By the end of that job, I had around 15 employees. And that on a daily basis. And whenever I was talking to, I told that payment will be given on a monthly basis. I will not give you daily basis. So everybody had a doubt whether this person is going to stay or not. But Mr. Joseph, who introduced Mr. Mumtiaz Ali, he told that he is a Navy person, so you can trust him. That was a single liner that he told him. He was an ex-naval person. You can trust him. He will give you money. So after around 20-25 days, we completed the project. It took a small section. I completed the project. Then again, much more order value was added. Then it took me again 40 days to complete the next order part of it. So it almost took me 2 months of job for me to complete. That was February and March entirely I took to complete. But before the financial year ending, I was able to build that single job which I got. That was about 6.6 lakhs in 2 months. And I paid all the labors from my pension amount that came into my hand. I didn't, because my wife told you will not touch the pension, the fixed amount that has come in from. So what I did is I paid out from my pension all the people who worked along with me. And even whatever money I had, my savings, smaller savings and all, I pulled that out and paid it to the employee so that I could sustain them. So they were very happy because I was very true to them. I was keeping my word of paying them on time. I was looking up the welfare. I was working along with them. So people were very happy that a CMD is also working along with them, along with the Dangry and all those things. They were getting so fascinated in doing this job. But so the quality that we delivered with the knowledge that I gained from Navy, it's all like this because I was on both sides. 2 days before, I was on the other side, Navy, where I was demanding some quality from vendors and from workers, but they were not delivering it. Sometimes they were delivering. And now I am working as a vendor. Now I knew what exactly Navy wanted. So I gave them what they wanted. And they were very happy. And for the first time, I still remember the LO, Thomas Davis, commander. He came down to me and told, this is the first time I have not yelled at a vendor. And he told that your work has been perfect. Will you be able to do bridge, cabling, and all those things for me? I was so happy. I told yes, I will do it, sir, because I didn't have any other job to do. But then what happened is, you can see work start picking because you delivered quality on time. Work came in thick and fast, one after the other, one after the other. We had so many jobs in our Piki after the completion of the single job. And every job, I made it one thing to be very cut through. That will be, I told her I will work under a valid legal document. I will work only with a PO. I will not work without a PO. That was my stand from the first day, and that worked. Even though I have lost so many projects in this hard-throat decision, but the only thing that happened is because of the legality and the validation of documents that I had, I never had to fight with any customer. So that was the challenge that I overcome, because it's always, greediness comes in. Once you get a job, yeah, maybe I will do this also, I will do that also, I'll do that also. But you will have to come down and see what is important. Whether you want a larger project with your money getting stuck up somewhere, or you want to take small project but get your money on time. So I chose the second option B. So I didn't want to take so many projects and have my entire capital getting stuck. And I didn't have some capital also. I just had the money that came. So that way we started the business in 2018. And by the end of 2018, March 31st, we had a capital turnover of 6.6 lakhs from 15,000. And the very next year, we touched 66 lakhs. And the third year, we touched 1.2 crores. So that was the way that business grew. And for me, the bottom line and the challenges I told you, so many challenges were there. But during this transition, what I learned is the 4 pillars of my business. One was competence. You choose the best person for the best job. You don't pick up any Tom, Dick and Harry for any job, then you start complaining. Competence is important. If you want a welder, you pick up a welder rather. If you want a fitter, you pick up a fitter. If you want a rigger, you pick up a rigger. So you need competence to be there. Second is commitment. You need to show commitment. Your team need to show commitment. Only then business will work. Third is culture. How we interact with others. The culture means they are all three-dimensional. My interaction with my employees interaction with me, my interaction with customer, employees, everybody out there. So this culture has to be set. So if this is a third pillar of my company, we have a definite culture in which we interact with our customer, with our employees in a different way. And fourth one is obviously attendance. People have to be consistently present. You cannot afford to have a team who is available only 10 days in a month and 20 days absent. So my 4 pillars in business when I was running my business was commitment, competence, culture, and attendance. With these 4 pillars, I was able to establish.
Amazing, amazing. Without challenges, there's no success. Everyone knows. So you are a man who believe that one day it will be fruitful. And with all those challenges from 2018, 2023, when you were receiving the Best Businessman Award from the Honourable Transport Minister, there would be something behind it. Some strategies you would have built in your company. Please throw some light on the strategies that you have imparted or you have built so that the company can grow. And today, when you go back to 2018 after having successful 6 years, what is the light? What would you like to tell the strategies that you have implanted in your company?
So in life or in business, there is a word that you will have to change if you want to become successful. Your strategy is not, well, my strategy is not that big. When I got married, I was I. And after I got married, we were we. The word changed. Right. Similarly, in business, if you want to run a successful business, you will also have to change your I and you'll have to change it to we. And till the time you don't do it, your business will not scale. You will survive, you will struggle. But stability and scaling up will only happen when you change I to we. And to change from I to we, you cannot do it by your own. There has to be a system. And the system can be only established when you trust your team. It's all about delegation of factors. I can be like my first job, I can be a peon who writes the bill and takes it across. I can be my accountant who makes a quotation and invoice. I can be a technician who works across. I can be a CMD going for a meeting with coat and everything, blazers and all. I can be a CMD. So that is I. This is also one mode of doing business, but in that you will not be able to scale. You will be only struggling and surviving. So that 2 steps you will come up. But in 2020, when we were doing a good amount of business, 1.2 crores in just 3 years, believe me, sir, I think that was my biggest numbers I have seen in my life. 1.2, because even though I was in service, I have not seen crores. So when I got the 1.2 crores, I was overwhelmed with the revenue growing. But one thing was very sure, that this is not the way to do business. I just didn't want, because many of my friends saw me. I was fat. I was sitting in front of I have all these tensions in my head. Almost every day I was eating, sleeping, no sleep, eating and everything. I was very fat. I was around 90, 97 kg. Has been put up with all the pressures. I was running around. I was traveling all the night. I used to fly during the night time, attend meetings. And I still remember I was sitting in my classmates. There was a group of classmates. I was sitting in a function. I was sitting in the dais and sleeping. One of my classmates came to me and told, Sayuj, what is happening to you? I told, what? So you are sleeping with eminent personalities beside you. But body gives up. You can lie to anybody, but body will not lie to you. It will sleep automatically if you didn't have a good sleep. So I was not doing it intentionally, but I was sleeping. Then I realized there is something wrong with the way that I am doing a business. Because I have seen many businessmen who are very fresh. They are in their 60s but still young. I could see a person of 40s right now in 40s, in the initial stage of 40s, and I'm almost sick. So after the COVID came in, I was just sitting. I was analyzing because everything was shut down. Nothing was going to happen. My entire employees were stuck. Then I have got around 88 lakh rupees in my account. My wife told, okay, we'll pay it out to every employee without any job. So I thought, okay, let it go. Let it go. No problem. But when the money went out, something came in. Systems came in. I told, okay, if this is the way that I'm going to do it, I'm not going to be surviving for a long time. That means my initial thing, which I told, I want to take business to the next generation, is not going to happen. So my motive of taking this business to the next generation was not going to happen. So once, when during COVID, when money was being flushed out, I came across Rajiv. He was a person who was giving a small reels in Facebook stating that are you building a business or are you self-employed and all those things. And he was telling that if you want to know how to do business, join our course and pay just 99 rupees. So I was just thinking, is this a spam or something like that? Just but then I told, okay, let me do it. I enrolled for the 99 rupees course, and I still remember that 4 hours. There was a light which came into my head. You can do business. Because I didn't have clue, because I was a ex-serviceman. I didn't have any legacy of business. I didn't know how to do it. So now he was explaining what are systems in doing of business, how you can scale up, how you can become free, financially free, time free, and all those things. I knew that this person knows something. I should go with. Soon enough, I enrolled for the next level of coaching under him, and I went through the system which he taught me. After, you should say, during this COVID period, even though our business is 4 months, we are locked down, and we paid out our entire revenue free of cost. We paid our entire employees. I paid out 87.36 lakhs to my employees as salary. There were around 91 people at that time who were working with me, and we paid 24,000 rupees. Everybody, even though he's a manager, even though he's a helper, we paid 24,000 round off. Everybody. So that they can sustain. And you should understand that all these people are migrant workers. They are from Orissa, UP, BR, and West Bengal. So they had to stay in Bombay, Visakhapatnam. So they had to pay rent, food, and everything. So we thought we will pay 24,000 rupees, and we gave them for 4 months. And when market opened up slowly in defense sector, my entire team was there. Nobody vanished. 87 joined the day one. When I wanted them, I told them to join back. 87 of them joined. 4 of them could not join because they were in containment zone. And that area was sealed, and people, about COVID, that people could not come out. That was the main reason they could not come and join. But after some time, they also joined. So the entire crew joined. And so within a period of 2 months, my crew size was about 250. I grew from 91 to 256 in just 2 months because so many jobs were reassigned to us in Naval Dockyard, Mumbai Port Trust, MDL, Naval Dockyard, Visakhapatnam. So many jobs came in because were the only vendors having manpower readily available at their locations. We had a great start after that. And we touched 1.15 crores that year with almost 4 months of lockdown. Almost 4 months of lockdown. But then, sir, what has happened is this training also started, and I was doing this training also. I started implementing what we learned into this business. So these strategies, this helped me in scaling of my business from 1.15 crores to 3.5 crores in just 1 year. It just if you think it's a magic, but it's not a magic. It took me huge hard work because the transition, the throwing of mindset, the waving of and letting it go was a very hard thing. Because you have been so used to doing everything as a professionalist mentality. Without you touching it, you will not be able to satisfy yourself. So that was my problem. So letting it go was a very big challenge for me. But with this training and trusting my team and putting the entire thing into the shoulders of others, and I changing my single word of I to we, and that strategy started working. And systems came in. I was able to take out time for myself, my family. I started concentrating on 10 different things also. As Rajiv says, I became an eagle rather than a donkey. I became a CMD in actual words also. I started monitoring my team above, standing on above terrain. I started watching my team moving. I could see where they are moving. I could make course corrections. So all these things, when it started working, these strategies paved path for the success. So by 2022, we were almost at 5.5 crores. In 2020, I was down with 1.15 crores after COVID. By 2020, I and my company, we together, we made 5.5 crores, which was a huge amount. And you should understand that when GST department also came in to my office, because we were paying GST accordingly. On time, we were paying it. So one of the GST officers gave me a call and asked, is this unique solution? Yes. So we are from Cochin GST office. We want to visit your office. I went to we welcomed them on board and we put our system papers and pictures in. We were worried. I thought there is something fishy that is going to happen. But GST department came in to verify our accounts and see whether what we are doing is legal and what we are filing is correct or not. So when we do 5 crores of business, we pay almost 18% GST. Right? That's approximately 80 to 90 lakhs. So when they were looking at this amount, that what is this company doing all the way? So then they told me that your documents are in place, you are an MSME, you are so and so, so and so. Then they recommended us for this awards. They sent me a link for the nomination factor. I kept that nomination link for almost 2.5 months. Then this officer again gave me a call. Why didn't you register for the nomination? I forgot. But do it today. Tomorrow is the last day. So it was all in a hurry that I filled up the nominations and I filed the documents across, in which I didn't have a document also. When I asked him one more extension time, he told me to, okay, you submit without the document. Later you send it by email. So all the documents are submitted online. And then after that, I was surprised to see that we were also in the front runners for the award for the year 2023. So These strategies of conversion from I to V was the most important thing if you want to scale your business. Second thing is you need to trust your team. You need to put systems in place. Third thing is you need to build a rapport, a confidence between the employer-employee relationship. If I wouldn't have paid my employees during the COVID time, the entire scenario would be different right now. I wouldn't have a good team to stand with me when I wanted them the most. So for me, business has been a give and take policy. I always have I always have an intent to serve my employees. Therefore, they get attached to us. And whenever we want them, they deliver it to us. So it's always like E is equal to MC square. You give 10, you will get the square root of whatever you give. So business in our company grows according to our company's employees' competence. So if you are building a trust factor, if you build a bridge between employer and employee, there is no way that anything bad can happen. If you both start trusting each other, wonders will happen. So for me, the question that you asked is I just briefed it along because I wanted to make sure that I didn't give a very small question answer like model. The first thing is the strategy that I introduced was I changed our strategy from I to V. We started implementing systems in place and we had a very good rapport between employees and employees. And that was a strategy that we introduced for a successful business in 2020.
Wonderful, wonderful, amazing. A lot of companies have different ways of working ahead. From 2018 to 2023, being the best businessman award you were receiving from the Honourable Transport Minister. From I, as you said, from I to V, when you were alone, having one guy with you start with, and today you have 350 plus employees. I am still, even today, the count would have changed. I know every day your count increases, touch wood, God's grace, crossing fingers, it multifolds every day. From I to V, from 1 to 350 plus, how do you motivate your team along with your company's goals, vision alongside and take it ahead?
So there is a strategy that Rajiv always teaches our entire top management. There's a thing called personal aspirations. Personal aspiration is something like this. I just need to get out from my shoes, wear the shoes of an employee, stand on the other side. And I'm just standing like this. And if you think you are my employer, and if you come and ask me, Sayuj, what is that you want? What is that will make you happy? What are your problems like? And can I give you a suggestion to solve your problems? Just think like that. Ashwin sir comes down to Sayuj, I am your employee. You are my employer. You come down and ask me, what is your problem like? How is that I can help you? Can I give you a suggestion to help you? This is how you can overcome this. Now, what would it take? The entire perspective of watching an employer would change. Because till date, we have seen employers milking employees. Now, here you see an employer who steps up to you and says, boss, what is your problem? And then the second thing is you do what you commit. The way that employees do what they commit, you also do what you commit. Okay, you are telling me, so if you do like this, you can become like this and you will get this much money, your problem can be solved. Now, Ashwin sir has to give me an opportunity to do like this so that I can change my word things like this and I get extra money and my problem can be solved. Now, you have to step up and take that responsibility of giving me an opportunity. So here in our unique solution, what we do is we have personal aspiration goals set for our employees. Every single employee goes through personal aspiration goals filling form. We ask different set of personal questions wherein they have got the liberty to fill it. I have seen people writing, I want to become a businessman like Sayuj Damodharan. I've seen that in personal aspiration. I want to become a businessman like Sayuj Damodharan. What we do is we call them, we ask them, and we teach them business. Many people came down to me and said, "Yeah, you're making a competitor." I told, there is an ocean left. Don't think about a bucket. If you have the skill set, you will do better. So once we start telling them that business can be done like this, it is not that one person that changes. It's a word of mouth that goes through. He goes talk to his colleagues and say, "Arey yaar, Sayuj sir gave me a call. He asked me what business you want to start." He was guiding me across. He was asking me what is the help that I need. Now, he is not only bringing in a confident team member into my team, but he is also making sure that he can open up anything to me. My HR gets the largest number of requests for many things. He comes up and says, "Sir, we have got this person. He's like this." Each and every employee comes to HR and discloses what is their problem. When they start disclosing their problem, and when we try to close down each and everything, the rapport that we make with employer changes. Similarly, what has happened in 2024, they are closing is, I had a problem with some of my works. My work was getting stuck up somewhere. I committed a timeline, and that period was that Ganesh festival period. Everybody was taking leave during that period. They had this leave, 5 days, 7 days, and they should serve. And I had a commitment to meet. Now, what has happened is, similarly, when employees say there is a problem, we attend. I just put up a message in the main group that I have committed. This work has to be completed by so and so. So believe me, 17 employees cancelled their leave. And they told they will only go on Ganesh Visarjan. And that too by part. So we completed that task on time. So I have made a bridge wherein we are able to communicate with employees. Employees will also reciprocate if you are if you always listen to them, they will also listen. It is not like the employer is always scolding employee, they are pulling it down. So the main factor here is employees are the lifeblood of an organization. If you are able to take them on board with your commitments, and if you are able to build a culture where they are able to open up to you and you are able to open up to them, business can do wonders, especially in service sector. When we started from 2023, when we received this award, so today, 2024, November 11th and 12th, we received Business Success Awards from QL1 in Bangalore for the decathlon category, that is from the 10 crores to 50 crores category. We received another award. We were invited as speakers. A company was invited as speaker. I presented a speech to the Society of 1,600 MSME veterans. So when this happens, when we go to the stage, I had a 25-minute talk. I was standing in front of 1,600 MSMEs. So believe me, sir, that entire event was nullified when I went back to Kollam and my team threw a party with a cake and a bouquet for receiving this award. When the team threw a party, that became the highlight. I was 2 days before I was standing in front of 1,600 MSMEs. I was thrilled and overjoyed. But when I came back to my head office, I could see 22 guys standing with bouquet and a cake to welcome us. So that was the most satisfying moment of all, because they knew that what we have achieved is not that I have achieved, it is that we together has achieved. And if you're able to make that thing work, your business cannot stop at any point of time. And when you start working with that objective, and when you start making that people believe that this is your company, this company is going to serve you for generations to come, the commitment automatically comes. Exceptions are there. I don't say that 100% people will be like that, but sir, to a greater extent, people will stay with you. And we being in service sector, the entire Unique Solutions logo, the Unique Solutions name and everything, we wanted to do something unique, which is not very familiar. So for me, our team is unique. And for any youngsters, any veterans, any people who think that business is not their cup of tea, I would like to state that if I can do this, anybody can do. Because there were two transitions in my life, from a commerce student to electrician, from an electrical job to again a businessman. So these many transitions I have gone through. Still, if I was able to make an impact in business, if I have been able to go through with my 450 odd team as on date, as you say, the numbers are changing. It is 467 as on date. So the numbers that are growing every day, the people that are joining our team every day, all these things are based on basics. Set your basics right. Do what you're supposed to do. Be very transparent. Make a bridge. Make sure that the aspiration of people are there. If the personal aspiration goal is set for the employees, there will be a huge transition that will happen. The second thing that you should do is business aspiration. When you do personal aspiration, you should also do business aspiration. You should also make them understand what this business is all about. You should tell them, boss, this is what we are doing, and this is what we intend to do. This is your role like. Here comes the third model. It is called role clarity. You need to give them the role clarity in which they are playing. And the final thing that you need to do is impose the culture charter. You need to put a culture in place wherein people believe, yes, with all of us being taken care of. It's all about respecting others. Make sure that you get the respect that you want. So with all these things, we have been able to sail all the way from 2008, 17, 18 to 2024, and we still are growing, sir. The number has again changed to 467 as on yesterday. Tomorrow, the numbers will again change because we are in the service sector. Some may leave, many of them will add on. But, sir, end of the day, when I look back 8 years, 28 years, my life has been a fruitful one with all the things that I've learned in my life, with all the business that come into my kitty that we are doing. The one and only one thing that I can tell people out there is doing business is not a challenge. It's never a challenge. It's neither easy also, but your intentions has to be correct. You have to be persistent. You have to be consistent, and you should have the perseverance to drive across.
Right. From this is one thing which makes everyone motivated. I'm sure 350 plus employees in the company. This is the reason that they are motivated to go ahead. Now, when you're running a big business, what happens in uh, eh, many of the companies, either the CMD will be fully engaged with the company, ruining the personal life. So, how do you balance your profession, being running a company of more than 350 plus employees on one side and your personal life? So, how do you balance these two things?
So a very tough question because this has got two phases. You could see Sayuj Damodharan, a very unbalanced person who was not able to make peace with his family life 3 years before 2020. I was this fat and I could not even step 10 steps ahead. To wash my feet, I need to place my foot across a European closet so that I can touch my feet. That was the condition in which I was working. So there was a place where I was not able to serve justice to my family. I was totally indulged in business. My family life wasn't, I cannot say how it was, but it was not very good. And my wife has been very patient because she knew me. I'm a person, I'm a workaholic type person. If I get onto a job, I tend to do it every time and every time. And I get indulged and it's like a whirlpool. I get into it. So she knew me. But then when this training started, when I saw that there is a work-life balance that is very important, and when I understood that this work-life balance is not only important for me, but is also important for my company, I knew that this is I'm done with. So what I did was started implementing systems, delegating jobs and responsibility to senior guys, putting more people into business, taking over more responsibilities from the handing over more responsibility to them, and reducing my workload. So, what will you think? When I reduce my workload, my business never suffered. It grew. People think that when you delegate this job, your work will suffer. No. For me, when I started delegating this job, I put people on with a higher pay scale to take over the job and I stepped back. What has happened is I was able to concentrate on business development. And when I started developing, when I concentrated on business development, my revenue grew 10 times more. Now I am able to pay out the pay which I am able to pay the higher paid people out here who are doing my job. That was not my job either. It was not my job. I was doing their job and I was not doing my job. When I started realizing this, I started coming out of the system. To be a successful businessman, sir, never get attached to your business. Come out of your business, become a person who can be just a catalyst. You need to be a catalyst. You cannot be a chemical bond. If you become a bond in business, your business will never grow. By just being a catalyst, your business will. So that was the time when I realized when you become a catalyst and you stay out of the business and when you have got so much time doing business development, then I started realizing I have enough time to go to gym. Today I go play 1.5 hours, I play, I give it to my body. Then I got time to spend with my kids. Today I was cooking along with my family. Right. So we go out on movies, we go to beaches. Sundays are there for me. Normally this is always rare. Saturday, Sundays are there, never fair for me. I've gone to Bangalore with my wife. I've gone to Chennai with my wife, which never happened 2 to 3 years before. So I realized this entire thing when I was admitted in a hospital doing angiogram. I was in a cath lab. I was with all the suis in my body, and I suddenly realized that if Sayuj is not there, then what is the meaning in running such a business? So it's very important for me to be alive and enjoy the fruit of what we have been investing. So in order to get and enjoy the life which I have already dreamt of, I need to be alive. So you need to strike a life balance with your work life. So I started developing the system as Rajiv told. And today, sir, I'm telling you 90% of my business work is done by my top management, which include GM, all the HR head, operations head, accounts head, technical officer, all the zonal heads. All these people are there to take over. Even if there is something once in a blue moon, they want, I go with them for a strategic meeting. That to 45 days, only one time I go with them on public. We have a meeting called stop meetings. It's strategic tactical operations practice that we do. So the last is strategic, which happens every 45 days. That is the only meeting that I attend. All of the meetings are done by either by the top management or by the management. So here, with this entire business growing, we have touched more than 25 crores this year. And even though we are running such a huge business, I don't say it as a huge, but whatever small for me, 25 crores is a very huge amount. But if I am running a business of 25 crores, and if I am only engaged from 10 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the evening, and the rest of the time is my family life, and I'm okay with it. So now, right now, I'm enjoying my family life to my fullest. I am, along with my kids and my family, I am able to go out on a vacation. I'm able to attend marriages. I'm able to take care of my parents. Right? All these things are, I'm able to do it with this work front just because we have a system in place. So it's very important to have a system if you want to have a work-life balance.
It's a wonderful sentence to culminate or say that if you have a good system in your company, then you'll have a balanced personal life. Noted. Today, today, lakhs of soldiers are retiring from Army, Navy, Air Force. Maybe 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, serving the nation. They are clueless. Few have got some ideas to do what they have decided before retirement. What is your advice to those military veterans who are now just coming out, or maybe they are out for last couple of years, still figuring out what to do? So what is your advice, being a military veteran, now a successful entrepreneur, a successful businessman? So what is your advice to those veterans?
So every veteran out there, they are unaware of what they possess. It's just like what do you say? You have so many good characteristics which many of your counterparts outside doesn't have. The discipline that armed forces people possess, the way they think, the commitment fact, and the camaraderie that they have, the vision that they always had. All these things are unique. I would request the entire veteran society out there to don't let that go. First, you don't have to let your characteristics dilute just because you want to be in the civilian world. Catch out of those factors, stay firm to it. Second thing, every veterans have got different priorities. Every veterans out there have different priorities. Some would like to work in a peaceful atmosphere, 9 to 5 job, because they are always under transfer or they have been in field area. Now they just want to be 9 to 5 with their family. They consider the family life a lot and they want to be with them. Yeah. Some would like to gain some monetary benefits, huge monetary, because they will be having so much deficit in their life. Now they want to come in and excel. So there will be some people who want to make huge amount of money. For that also, there is another priority. Some people would like to do something innovative, and some people would like to make something of their own. So let me take one by one. Some veterans who want to have a 9 to 7, 9 to 5 life and then a work-life balance, they can obviously go for a bank or a SSC or whatever it is. They will get posted near their hometown. They will have a good family life and a work-life balance. And even though they don't get so much of monetary benefits, but their priority just being on a family front, they can leave the way that is. Some people will be wanting monetary benefit because they have so much deficit in life. For those people, I would recommend them to go to merchant navy as of such, because they get huge payment for a shorter period, and thereby they can cover up their deficit. And then once the deficit is down, then they can think what is to be done in future. That is the second set of people. Third set of people is those people who want to be innovative, who want to go and find their own ways and means. So my humble suggestion to them is, see what they are good at. What is that their basic instinct says? Whatever small or big it is, make an impact. Do it differently. Some people would say, sir, there are people who come down to me and say, sir, I would like to open a restaurant. Some people would like and come and say, sir, I would like to open up an armory because I'm in armed forces. Some people have come to me and told that, sir, I want to open a petrol pump, gas station. So if they want to do it, please do it. Don't stop yourself. Please do it. But make sure that your basics are correct. There is no meaning in telling that I want to become a hotel or restaurant owner, or I want to run a restaurant, but you don't know anything about restaurant, you have no clue doing it. It's not that you want to. It is about how to. Can you do it? So if you are good enough, go for it. And the last set of people will be those who are willing to take challenges and who want to become entrepreneurs in their life. My humble suggestion to all those people out there is, take a piece of paper and a pen. Go to a cool and calm place. Sit there. Write what you want to do. Next 1 hour, should sit there and write what is that you want to do. Don't think whether you will be able to do or not. Just write down what you want to do. And after writing it, might be around 6 years, 7 years, 10 points that come in. Just start asking questions. Are you able to do it? Will you be able to do it? And how can you do it? Just ask yourself these questions. Can you do this? For example, if somebody comes and asks me, today, I want to run an IAS IPS academy. So the first question that I ask myself is, am I capable enough to do it? Do I have the strengths? If I'm not capable, then do I have the strengths to do it? That means if I can take a support from somebody who is really enough, can I do it? Do I have the financial stability to do it? If not, is there any sponsor who can do it? So these type of questions you start asking against each and every wish and will that you have written. And there will be some 3 to 4 points where these things will align. For example, there was a person in Kottaragra, Kollam. When he came out of army, he wanted to start his farm. He wanted to start his farm. He came to me. Somehow, somebody referred him. He told that Sayuj is running a business. You go and sit with him. He will tell you what to do. He came to me. He told that I'm an ex-serviceman. I'm from Army. I'm from Kottarakara. And I want to start a farm. The first thing I asked him is, do you possess some land? He told, yes. I asked him, how much? He told, I got 1 acre. What is it? He told, it's all about rubber. He had got some rubber plantation. Then I asked him, do you have any experience of farming or with all these goats and cows and all? Do you have any experience? He started saying that my uncle did it. I told not about uncle. Do you have any experience? Tell me this. Your uncle did it, your grandfather did it. That's all good. But have you got any? He told, yes, I had 2 cows in my past. My father had. I used to wash them. I used to milk them and all those things. I told, do you have still have the passion to do it? He told, yes. What would be your routine like? Third question that I asked him, what would be your routine like? He told, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll wash the stable. Then I will milk them. I'll take it to society. Then I will do this. I will do that. And then I asked him, how many days will you do this? Every day. Is this what you want to do? He was staring at me. Then what do you want me to do? Then you should start a farm. But what you are saying is you need to systemize yours. What you said is correct. You want to start a farm. But you cannot do it daily. Believe me. What if you are sick? What if your wife is sick? So he told, what should I do? I told him, take a single cow. Start your farm. And so today, he has been awarded the Karshasri Award from his Odanavattam branch. And he gave me a call on the day when I was in another country last month. He gave me a call and told that, sir, I have got an award for this. And now he has got more than 30 cows. I don't know how many buffaloes he have, how many goats he have. He has transformed his entire farming into an eco-friendly system wherein he sells cow dung. He sells his cow dung. He sells all the excreta of goats and everything. He has got chicken right now. He has started chicken. He's also started turkey farm. And he's selling it to the biggest hotels in Kollam. So now he's expanding into multiple levels. And he has got a crew of more than 40 farmers. And he has bought land more than 20 acres. This happened in 2 years. So this was done by a veteran. So the questions that we ask yourself, the idea that you earn from yourself, nobody will be able to guide you. Because believe me, you cannot cheat yourself. Anybody and everything can happen, but when you ask questions yourself, nothing will go wrong. Don't take any suggestions from anybody. Just ask yourself, am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Is this okay? All these questions, when it comes down, you will find your answers. And to all veterans out there who dare to do business, please do. Please dare to do it. If you think you will be successful, start asking questions how we are going to do it. And once you get an answer to it, please step up and do it. And there is nothing that is going to stop it. Because the inhabitant culture that you got from inherited, all those things that you got from Indian Armed Forces, that will lead you across. The discipline, the, what do you say, the guts to do anything and everything. That will lead you across. There is absolutely no doubt. No civilian counterpart will be able to compete with you when you take up a decision. But I would just again say this word again. Hold on to what you have learned from Indian Armed Forces. That will help you achieve your dreams. Because whatever I have done in business is because of Indian Navy and what Indian Navy has taught me. I think after my parents, who has molded me to be a good citizen, it was Indian Navy who has molded me along with my parents to be successful in my life. And I have entire gratitude to my parents as well as Navy for making this possible. So every Indian veteran who is there out, coming out of service, you need to prioritize what you want to do first, where your priorities lies. Just like I said, somebody would be wanting a family life, somebody will be wanting some money, somebody will be innovative in life, somebody will be able to take some risk. So these priorities you need to set. And once you have got what you want, then you go for it. And once you step in, please don't step back. Because if you don't respect yourself, if you don't respect your decision, then nobody will respect you. So once you have already taken a decision, then I'm going to do this. Because there are n number of people, there are a small factor of people whom you will have to convince. They'll be just watching out for you to become unsuccessful so that they can ping you at the back. So once you've taken a call, make sure that you do it. And you do it with full josh. And for me, any support, any guidance required, and an entrepreneurship mode regarding entrepreneurship, how to build a system, how to run a business, what are the important things that you need to run a business, what is that is basics that you read. I'm always open for you. Ashwin, you can also put my number across downline. We are always open to you to help you across for all veterans out there. Right. So this has to be working. And every veterans out there who are retiring and coming out of their service, I respect them for the time and age they have given to this great nation. And you all deserve a great backup from outside. And for that, I will be always open for you, along with Ashwin sir. We will be always open to help you out in guiding you across in entrepreneurship journey, if at all. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful piece of advice to those veterans who are clueless today, who are like asking questions, everyone what to do. Here you got the light. Sayuj has thrown a lot of guidance to you all regarding what to do, how to do. Thanks to wonderful advice. You have been a leader in Navy. You have been a leader here as a CMD. Tell me few leadership values that you bring that you have been carrying across being in Navy here in the unique solution as a CMD.
So, as a leader, what I would suggest every individual who is looking at that part is first, your vision has to be clear. For a leader, he should know the route to guide somebody behind. First thing is, your objectives should be clearly set if you want to transfer it to your junior officer. So whenever I take a meeting with my employees out there, I make sure the agenda is set and I know what I'm going to speak and I have full clarity in what I'm going to say. So that vision should be already there in your mind. Second thing, as a leader, you should do is you should be clear. Clarity should be through. What is that you want? If you want to lead a team, boss, I need to go 10 steps ahead. I need to go 40 steps ahead. What is that you want? Don't change it every now and then. When you change that, your team gets distracted, your faith goes down. So that clarity in your objective has to be. Third thing that I would request, the most important thing that I do is to do whatever it takes to achieve your goal. Once you have set a target, once you have given your team a clarity, make sure that however hard it is, don't leave it midway. What will happen is, if we leave it midway, it becomes a trend. I will give you an example. We decided that we will start a segment of HVAC. I told that we will start a team of HVAC. We developed a team and my HVAC engineer was there with me. He suddenly got a job abroad and he went. Now, I was clueless. how to take it forward. So everybody was, the entire team was looking at me. Suddenly, my father, he is such a great personality. He has changed my life several times. He asked me, just think like this. This person has now left for a job. Think like if he suddenly died or he never existed. Now what? Now what is your option B? So that throw light, that started throwing light into me. Yes, if he was not there with me, that then what would I have done? Now, just because he went to some other country, he has got a better option, you cannot start blaming him. So then I started learning the system. And it took me 2 weeks to know how it performed. And believe me, sir, we are just too good. Veterans are too good. You put us in any shoes, we will fit into them. In 2 weeks' time, I was back with my team. I showed them the way and said, today we have been successful in putting 4 to 5 HVAC systems in all the SVLs that is sailing right. Every ship that is getting commissioned as a survey vessel large, we have our AC plants installed through RT. So it gave me, no, you cannot drop it in midway. You have to go for it. I'm saying it once you've decided that you're going to do it, make sure that you close it only after you finish. That is my third advice to a leader. Fourth advice is make sure that you understand your counterparts. Just because you have got 400 people working along with you, it doesn't give you a liberty to treat them as slaves. They are workers. They are your employees. They are your colleagues. And it is just because of them that we are here. So it's very important for a leader to understand that the same compassion that you have towards everybody is being transferred to your team. And when you show that to them, it will come in multifolds. It will come back. So the fourth quality that a leadership is compassion towards your workers, towards the employees, towards your colleagues. Fifth point that you should always remember is that you should always give them a work-life balance. Since I have gone through that, I have seen what happens if there is no work-life balance. Make sure that you also give your employees a work-life balance. Sixth, very important thing is put up role clarity factors very clearly. If a person, for example, if I am introducing a draftsman, mechanical draftsman, he know how to do AutoCAD. Tomorrow, I cannot use this draftsman to some other job. I am telling him, okay, go for safety, which is not at all in line with his profession. So you need to give him role clarity, what he's supposed to do. And it is your duty as a leader to generate job for him. He has just come in, he is just here to do a job. It's your duty to generate a job. So make sure the role clarity is set in place for the person. And the last and the most important is the environment that we create. It's not about money that people will always want to work with. Even if you pay him a 60 lakhs pay pack, but if you make his life miserable in office, if your working environment is not good, he will throw that off. He'll just throw it off. It is all about the working environment. As a leader, you need to make sure that the working environment is everybody's responsibility and that has you very jovial and happy. Even if you are unable to pay that much, if your working environment is very good and healthy, people will work with you. They will love to do job. They will say, even though I'm getting 10 rupees less, it's okay. But when I go there, I'm happy. So these characteristics are very important for a leader to make sure that your team works with you under your leadership and they, whatever you say, they oblige to what you say. So if you want to get that things in, then you need to make sure that these things are in place.
What a values that you have set up. Great to listen to you, Sayuj sir. Where do you see unique solution in next 5 years?
So we have a great vision ahead. We are planning for an IPO in 2027. We are planning to have our own dockyard in 2030. In 2030, I'll be about 50. So after 50, I want to see my team taking over the company and riding it further. I just want to step back and move along with my wife. So after 50, I just don't want to work. I just want to take a peaceful, but then I will be with them both as a mentor. But I want my team to run this company. As a team, we need to run this. So in 2027, we are all set to become an IPO. We are working towards it. We already started working with different authorities to make sure that the IPO process is in place. By 2030, we will be setting up our own dockyard in India. And we are also looking at making a global footprint. We have already started working with 4 other nations. We are also expanding on a yearly basis. We have started our IPDM through our second sister firm called Inventure Unique Solutions. And with all these things aligned together, I think till now, whatever we have planned, we have achieved. And I am very sure that by 2030, we will be able to achieve this also.
Wow, what a surprise for the entire unique solution team. Maybe he would have kept it as a secret, but you will be knowing this once you see this video. That was a New Year surprise. So, guys, whomsoever have listened to Sayuj Damodharan, the CMD of Unique Solution, next 5 years, you will be there as a IPO listed company. It was a great honor to have a podcast with you, listening to your experience from Navy as a leader over there, following the legacy of leadership that you have built, and today being the CMD, a successful businessman, received the Best Businessman Award from the Honourable Transport Minister for the 2023, followed by the entire MSMEs across the country, where you said around 1,600 MSME leaders were there, from which they have chosen Unique Solution as the best company and the best leader to guide the company. The award for the best businessman was received during that event. Today, leading the company and having a vision of taking it to list it in the IPO, it's a great, only a visionary can do this. And you have proved it, and you're proving it every day. We are really proud to have you as our chief guest today for our podcast. Learned a lot of lessons. I'm sure whomsoever is listening to Mr. Sayuj would have gained a lot of insights of how to start, how to take it ahead through the process, and even not just that, seeing yourself next 5 years where you will be. It's a journey of dedication, perseverance, consistency. Hats off to you for your guidance. We are thankful. Thank you for your valuable time that you have shared with us. Hope to meet you soon for another session with you in a different dynamics altogether. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Sayuj sir, and a big
Thank
salute to you for your leadership. Thank you.
you,
Thank
sir. Thank you, sir.
Signing off, Lieutenant Commander Ashwin.